Hello, and I guess it's after 12, so I can say good afternoon. Rich Roberts, at Fireman Rich, here on Rumble Studios, as well as over there on Locals, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook Live, X, and Kick. We have another launch here as far as that goes. Let me bring up, see what we got here as far as going out, the launch of the Europa Clipper, Europa being a moon of Saturn. And let me go ahead and show you. We're about 16 minutes from launch. I didn't think I was going to do this. I said, well, I'll put off my lunch and we'll watch this launch here at Cape Canaveral. I didn't think they were going to get it up this early, given the hurricane that happened down in Florida with Milton here just this last weekend and stuff. Let's see if I get, let's go ahead and bring up a picture of Europa. And this is a SpaceX mission, as far as SpaceX rocket that's taken Europa up there for NASA. And let's bring up the preset here. Okay. And there we have it right there, folks. Europa on the launch pad. And she's looking pretty good. And this is compliments of the NSF folks there that we do have space. They have, I have space.com up. And they have some commentators on there right now talking with 14 minutes left on their counter on the NSF. They have 15 minutes. So we're off and running watching this, and we'll see what happens. I just got a few things here to bring up on the, let's see, let's bring up the Rumble here on this. Well, let's see if YouTube or X or Twitch works here. Let's go ahead and see. So I do have the last of the morning coffee, though. And I'm not expecting too many. This is sort of a scheduled mission. And I appreciate you hanging out. We have, okay, there's the official count right there on the pad, 14 minutes and 32 seconds. And we'll go to some commentary here after I load this up here, see what we have. Is that going to take? Oh, okay, it didn't take yesterday for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, we got it up on the Twitch. And let we have it here. So we're situating here at the desks. We did have a morning broadcast, and let's see what the folks from NSF have to say here. I'll bring up their audio.
A lot of propellant refuelings for Starship in order to be able to reach Jupiter in one go with Europa Clipper, but it could. Emphasis on could. You need the refuelings.
Yeah.
Okay, they're talking about that. Just to give you a little background on this,
Nigel,
this is
gifting
SpaceX
5 red
launched
team
NASA's
memberships. Thank you very much.
Clipper
Amanda with the super chat
on a
saying,
Falcon
what
Heavy.
planet
This is
star
a
system
Falcon
is
Heavy.
SpaceX most
as far as
interested in
it
exploring,
has,
and which shows
actually
most
3
promise for
Falcons
humanity? Well, for SpaceX, I think
And
it's
they have a
obviously
second
Mars.
stage here.
Like they were
Rocket from Kennedy
founded with
Space
the
Center.
goal of
Hot off the heels of a
colonizing Mars,
successful
and
mid-air booster catch
that
during
probably is
this
the
past
most interesting
yesterday,
for humanity,
Sunday's
given it's the most
Starship Flight
Flawed
5
perspective
mission.
with the super chat. So I've
SpaceX
been
is
waiting for
prepared
this
to
launch
launch
since
a
it was first
Falcon
proposed Go Clipper.
Heavy
There's
rocket
all amount for
from
cameras. Thank you
NASA's
very much,
Kennedy Space
Flawed
Center,
perspective.
and will be launched
Tashia
today,
with the $2 super chat. Thank you very much.
Monday,
Jim
10.14,
becoming a new member,
2024,
as did
barring any
Flavius.
issues.
Welcome to
On
our
board,
membership program.
the three-core vehicle is NASA's Europa
Then
Clipper
ground
spacecraft,
umbilical
which will be
plates,
embarked on
or
a years-long
ground umbilical carrier plate
expedition to
saying, hey,
Jupiter's
Alex, they caught a
ocean
booster.
moon,
They did
Europa.
indeed catch a
NASA
booster.
believes
They caught a
this
booster,
moon
yeah.
characterizes
This is sort of like an inside joke.
characterized by
Yesterday,
icy
after
interior
the launch
and the
stream was
ocean
done,
beneath. It
a
may
few
contain
hours later,
evidence
we saw booster
suggesting
12
that
being
building
put back on
blocks
the OLM at
of life
Starbase.
might have
And so we
existed
went
for
on
another
an
celestial
impromptu Raptor side chat, so to speak, right?
besides
And we're all talking to each
Europa
other and be like,
Clipper
caught
will
a
be set
booster.
to on an Earth escape trajectory to begin a nearly 6-year mission
and
to
then
its
Nose Cone Jail with
namesake
the super
moon.
chat saying, with the flight of
Liftoff of a
IFT-5
mission
and incredible
from
frequency launches,
launch
how
complex
goes the narrative
39A.
of FAA
It's taking place right
persecuting
now.
SpaceX?
The launch time can be
I don't
earlier.
know if we want to
It was
get
scheduled for
into that.
12:06.
The FAA works with
We're going a little
SpaceX.
bit beyond that. SpaceX will now have
They're great
they have
partners.
live coverage.
But
The
thank you for
Falcon
your support.
Heavy mission is
Wilbo
unique
Baggins
circumstances that will
10
require
more gifted red
SpaceX
team
to
memberships. Thank
expand
you
all 3
very
of
much,
the rocket
Wilbo. Today
boosters.
you've been
In
you have
most
been
Falcon Heavy flights,
insane
the 2
and
side
awesome.
boosters
Thank
will
you.
be flown back to the Cape
Apocalypse Cow
after
saying,
separating,
gifting 5 red
which
team
is,
memberships, and then David
which is not
with the
recovered.
store message saying, more shirts, more better.
So
Thank
there
you
we
for
have
all
it.
you
A
do,
little bit background
NSF.
on the Falcon
Well,
Heavy.
thank you. I hope you
And
enjoy
let's go back to
the shirts
folks
that you
at
got.
NSF.
Anyway, now to some more.
Can we
guys.
appreciate for a second this wide view of 39A? Because there's a Starship Tower there. A lot of people are seemingly unaware that SpaceX built that Starship Tower here at 39A. How bonkers will it be when they start catching there, right? We saw yesterday that catch at Starbase. I cannot wait until we see that here in Florida.
Yeah, and it's probably a ways out, but still extremely exciting for sure. It's even just the thought of it. Let's see. Stephen wondering how many times have these boosters flown. Sawyer, can you, for those who may just be joining us, can you go through the launch history again of each of the cores?
Yep, definitely. So the center core 1089 is brand new. This is a one and done booster. It's its only flight. Whereas the side cores have been Falcon Heavy staples of recent time. You have B-1064 and B-1065 beginning their life on USS F-41, which that was the mission that was heard and not seen for the one time it was foggy here and not Vandy. USS F-67, Jupiter 3, Echo Star 24, which is one mission, by the way. Psyche, USS F-52, which was the secret military space plane 37B, and Europa Clipper.
Scientific questioning that we had that led us to believe that there was water.
Flights, unfortunately.
Yeah, stripped of all their landing legs, their grid fins, their RCS thrusters to end up.
Spacecraft on internal power.
There's a good call out from SpaceX saying the spacecraft has transitioned to internal power. So now instead of using power supplied by the ground, it is on its internal power, which will stay on until either a launch abort or until it is deployed and those solar panels start generating power. Here's an interesting question from Amanda that just came in a super chat. What planet/star system is NASA most interested in exploring, and which shows the most promise for humanity? Sawyer, what? Oh, I think Sawyer just dipped out. Alex, what is your?
Yeah, he needs to head off. Well, NASA is right now with the Artemis program, right, working on getting back to the moon. Will be with Starship as well, because they contracted the services for the lunar lander to SpaceX.
Center core RP1 load is complete.
There you go. We're gonna hear also as well the side boosters later. But the moon first and foremost, but also long term to Mars, and then they say beyond. We don't really know what beyond means, right? It's also sort of like SpaceX. They have Mars as the end goal. Well, not the end goal, but like the main goal for them, right? But after that, we don't really know. Wine Shotwell has said many times that she wants to go to other planets and even star systems, but although everybody knows that's very very far down to the future. As to most promise, I really don't know, to be fair. That will be a long debate, probably more suitable for the Flame Trench show on Friday.
Yeah. I think it's fair to say NASA is very interested in our star system, the solar system.
TY RP1 load is complete.
There you go. And then the MY will be in a few seconds.
Yeah, let's wait for that call out. And we're also coming up on that engine chill. Alex, what is the engine chill?
Yeah, during the engine chill, they condition the engines. There's 27 engines on that rocket. All of those engines run on liquid oxygen and RP1 kerosene, and
Engine
that liquid
chill has
oxygen is
started.
very cold. There you go. That's the engine chill having started, and that liquid oxygen is very cold. The engines are an ambient temperature, whatever the temperature is right now in Florida, and so they need to get conditioned for that action, for that liquid oxygen flowing through the engine. Even though a lot of people think engines, rocket engines are really, really hot, they are hot on the lower end. What comes from above
NY
to
RP1
those
load is
engines,
complete.
there you go. All three boosters now have RP1 load on them, fully complete. But the engine is hot on the bottom and very cold on the top, because all of the stuff that comes out from the tanks is very cold, and so that's why they need to be conditioned for propellant. And yeah, that's thank you, Kevin. He just pinged me in the back channel. But this is the conditions in Florida. As you can see, 26 degrees Celsius. That is not good for a.
Europa probably has beneath its icy surface a global ocean of water.
We think there are thermal vents in this vast subsurface ocean. There may be primitive organisms there, similar to the original primitive organisms on Earth from which we all evolved.
And turn the volume up here. Hang on. Oh, did we lose the NASA page? What's the NASA page? Oh, we lost the page. Let's bring it back up here. There we go. All right, well, listen, let's see if I can get the NASA page back up here. We'll listen to
Go
this.
NSF, go SpaceX, go Europa Clipper. Michael, thank you so much. I'm very jealous that you got to witness that amazing event that happened yesterday. But seriously, that support is what allows us to have all of the stuff in Boca to bring those views, and all the stuff at Cape to bring you the views that we're showing now. So,
Yep.
Seriously,
Look at that.
Thank you very much.
Is starting.
Here we go. That's great news.
Yeah. Some more support, Adam, with the super chat. Thank you, Adam. 9A Builder with the $10 super chat saying, you may have spoken about this before, but I thought would ask, do you believe that a Tesla robot will be the first biped to walk on Mars? And if so, what tasks do you think it'd be able to accomplish? I have no idea.
Yeah, that's
the gases and determine the composition with extreme precision. And we have another instrument that can tell us the composition of dust particles.
We have a magnetometer and a plasma instrument that are going to be studying that
This is
magnetosphere
NASA
environment that Europa is sitting in,
showing
and
what
Jupiter's
Europa looks
magnetosphere
like.
environment.
And
The magnetic field of Europa, in turn, can tell us about the properties of the ocean. How thick is it? And how salty is it?
And then we have this novel ice penetrating radar that will try to get below the ice shell.
Last but not least, we have a gravity experiment using the communication system of the spacecraft. And from that, we can get essentially a map of the gravity field.
We can get the shape, understand, what's underneath, maybe even get some information on the depth of the ocean. It's really a sophisticated payload.
The pictures that we are going to get back are going to be just fantastic.
The legacy of Europa Clipper will be just a treasure trove of knowledge about this world.
I do think we're down to 2 minutes, so we're going to stay here unless we get a better view from NASA. So with NSF folks, so let's listen in.
one of the things that apparently they are looking is some temperatures on the second stage. It seems to be with a rocket rather than with a spacecraft.
Interesting.
Yeah, Falcon Heavy is currently fully loaded with propellants. We'll see what they say.
Yeah, we should be getting that call out very soon. Right, in 30 seconds is when Falcon Heavy will enter startup. So that's when it will take control of its countdown.
Ground gas closeouts.
From the ground-based computers, and then at T-minus 45 seconds is when we'll hopefully get that go for launch call from the launch director, which I would imagine is when we would not be go for launch if that anomaly has not been resolved yet. Coming up on startup. Should be hearing that call out.
Falcon Heavy is in startup.
There it is. There you could see a second ago the water tower spraying a bit. That is, of course, nominal as always.
SpaceX launch director is go for launch.
They're go for launch.
Here we go.
To hear.
We have a go for launch. Yes.
So I'm guessing then that anomaly has been resolved. So we'll
About 30
hopefully
seconds and counting.
Those engines start igniting here in about 20 seconds. They will do that staggered ignition before lifting off at T0. We should be able to see that center core throttle down pretty much
Minus 15
immediately
seconds and counting.
as it comes off the pad. So pay attention to that.
Minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Liftoff.
Vehicle is pitching downrange. Engine chamber pressures are nominal. Power and telemetry nominal. Falcon Heavy is supersonic. Max Q.
There we have it, a successful liftoff of the Europa Clipper mission with some phenomenal audio. That was awesome to listen to. Booster engine cutoff is coming up in just about 1 minute and 15 seconds at T plus 3 minutes and 3 seconds, with separation a couple minutes after. But that first stage, the center core, will begin or will continue burning until T plus 4 minutes and 2 seconds. So a very, very long burn of that center core.
It's gonna be a long booster burn.
Yeah. It's a bummer NASA's not giving us telemetry.
Are those sounds still from like the rocket engines?
Yes.
I remember when I was there, you could hear the rocket engines still like T plus 5 minutes.
Yeah. I remember that too. Or I definitely noticed that with Starship too. It just like never, the sound just never went away. It was so awesome.
Should be coming up on that booster engine cutoff and separation.
Launch of Europa.
MVAC is chilling.
It's heavy, and we're monitoring this on
just like they did on the first stage engines. They are chilling that second stage engine, but now pay attention to those two side cores. We'll see those engines shut down in kind of that staggered pattern as we see on Falcon. And then we'll see those two side cores separate and fall back to the ocean again. There is no recovery
Booster
attempt.
engine cutoff. Side booster separation confirmed.
There they go. Just what you want to see. So
Thank
now,
you for your service.
Now this is basically a Falcon 9 mission. That center core will begin throttling up to help minimize gravity losses now that it's just it. So this will continue burning for about 30 more seconds.
Two boosters, they should be both coming
this
back
is such
to
a
the
crazy
Cape, and
long
they'll
burn
land
for
with their
Falcon. Falcon
legs coming
generally
out,
has
unlike
very
the
short burns.
mission yesterday with Starship 5 test flight, where the Godzilla arms.
Yeah, this will happen in the same manner as Falcon 9, and as those side cores just shut down
Texas,
on that staggered
and,
pattern to help minimize
continue to
transients.
monitor here as the
And then
mission
shortly after that,
keeps going.
the vehicle will have the stages separate, and then the second stage will begin its burn, which will be on the shorter end.
Stage separation confirmed.
There we have it. Thank you for your service, Center Core.
It's a very,
Now, the
very
Senate
horrible
Court's
way to
understanding
go
will
out to
not
launch
come
such
back where
an
the other two
incredible
boosters
mission
will
like it
come
is
back and
Europa
be
Clipper.
reused and stuff. So the
NYPY FTS has saved.
This is based technically the second
As
stage
expected,
here,
those side boosters now
and
saved.
and
There you go, the fairing separation coming up.
Separation confirmed.
and they're exposing Europa. So we're in space
Europa
right now.
Clipper is in the vacuum of
MVAC ramp to
space.
full thrust.
And as I was saying, this will actually be a pretty short MVAC burn for now. It's only about 3.5 minutes. Then later, they will be doing another very long burn, which will be about a 3-minute burn at T plus 47 minutes and 40 seconds.
Can I just say really quick? Wow. I mean, it may not be Starship,
wow,
but boy, does it give Starship a run for its money. Holy smokes. That one, the rumble today was absolutely unbelievable. Super crisp skies. And, I was next to my dad. His pants were actually shaking.
Yeah. Yeah, that launch audio was, that was very good.
amazing work also by Julia on that too. Shout out to her.
Yeah. Yeah, so
These
now
guys are
this will
class
continue
act,
on very much
we're
like
watching
your
footage here. I'm
typical
looking at NASA on my
uh,
Surface 3, and
Falcon 9
this is
mission,
they're
with
showing
this
the
burn
launch. These
ending
guys,
at T plus
I'm
7
checking
minutes
the
and
web. I'm not
53
seeing
seconds.
NASA.
Center core
Again,
FTS has saved.
Still, unless
Again,
I'm
all three of those
continuing to look.
cores
We'll stay with these
were
folks.
expended. There
They
will be
know
no
how to.
recovery
I'm
attempts
not
on
sure
any
where
of
they're
them,
getting
but
their
those two
telemetry
fairings that
or
we
their
saw
pictures from
jettison
now. So,
were or
but
will be
you guys can get it
recovered about just over 2,000 kilometers downrange by Go Cosmos.
Had the trip to go out there, right?
Yeah.
Also working on getting some photos edited for you. I'm sure Julia will do the same.
Oh yeah, and in the background as well, I believe we are working on replays of that launch. So stay tuned.
Indeed.
Stage 2 FTS has saved.
Barbies may have the meats, but NSF has the views.
We do have the views.
Less than 1 minute.
We will be staying live through payload deploy, by the way. Since this is such an exciting mission, we want to see it through to the other side. When it is deployed, not too long from now, it's about 50 minutes until payload deploy, a little over.
And we will stay as well.
During that
here
time, we'll of
on
course show some replays
broadcast there
of launch, including audio, and answer
hello.
more of your guys'
So,
questions.
we
So
appreciate the
stick
We'll
around.
be hearing terminal guidance soon.
Stage 2 is in terminal guidance.
15 minutes
There you go.
until deployment. Again, I want to say thank you for those that are watching
Awesome.
and viewing. We have a total of 5 people right now. I know this isn't
People
a
obviously asking about the eyes. That eyes is
You
normal,
know,
by the
some
way.
people
You'll
look
see a
at
lot
this
more
as
later when it tries to
routine
relight
launching.
for the
There's nothing
second burn.
routine about space flight as far as that goes. It's just it looks routine,
Yeah,
but
Sawyer,
it is.
how was launch
Seco.
compared to
It looks like
previous Falcon heavies?
Europa Clipper is.
I don't know
going up
why.
here
This
to
one
the
had
map,
that
showing,
extra
where it's
base
at
to
on
it
the
today. The
planet right
rumble on
now.
it was spectacular, and
It's
this is one
continuing
of the
its flight.
clearest days we've
We
had.
should be
It's, I
seeing
think,
here
quite appropriate
stage
given
1
that the
and
side
stage
course
2.
first
Those are
flight,
the two
USSF
side
44, was fogged out, and I think I saw
boosters.
it for maybe
I'm
3
not
total
sure. I haven't heard it.
seconds of launch.
They have a
And
clear
also
day
put on
there.
a great audio
Hopefully,
show.
we
This
get a
would not
chance
only
to
put on
see
an
them
audio show,
back.
but the visuals,
Third
clear skies all the
middle
way through, up to
booster
separation.
that makes up the
I mean, this is up there as
the
one of the
X,
prettiest and one of the loudest I've seen.
SpaceX Heavy rocket
Yeah.
to launch.
We
Nominal
certainly-
orbit insertion.
The center stage.
There we
That's
go.
exactly what we want to hear.
And
Nominal orbital
look,
insertion.
they have these ships. That
So
they
this
can
is
take
again
up
just the
there.
transfer orbit.
So
They have
we'll
not
just see
done
what
that escape
happens.
burn
It-
yet. That
it might
escape
be,
burn we will stay
if they
live
don't
for.
return
And
back
it is in
to
about
Cape
40
Canaveral,
minutes
I
from
guess they've had more than their
Yeah,
their
and to
mission.
address again the
They don't
ice
need
thing,
it, but,
the
that's
MVAC engine
whole
has
thing
this
about
little
space
pipe
is
sticking out of the side.
usable.
That little pipe is normal to be venting because that's
saw
what
that
it's called a bleed line.
by
As the engine
flight test.
operates,
The,
whatever sort of
the,
like that's where some of the
heavy,
oxygen comes out to
booster
control the pressure inside of the
Starship.
engine, and so that oxygen, as it exits that pipe, solidifies into that ice, and that's what you see there accumulating on some parts of the engine. Normally, seeing some ice, that little pieces of ice, that's normal. What we saw, for example, on the Starlink 9-3 mission back in July, that was not normal. There was a lot more oxygen, ice being accumulated on the MVAC. But as you saw today, that was normal orbital insertion, and hopefully we get a second burn later down the line as well. See, normal engine.
Awesome. Well, again, just a reminder, we will be staying live throughout payload separation. So until then, there are a lot of people to thank. There's a lot more support that came in during launch and just before launch. Starting with Andy becoming a Capcom member. That means you got access to our awesome Discord server. So go in, say hello, view all the channels, see all the awesome space talk going on, say hi to us. Spaceman04 gifted a Red Team membership. Thank you very much, Spaceman. Joelle with a $2 super chat. Casualty Bag saying, let's light this candle. SpaceX, Godspeed Europa Clipper. May the force be with you, NSF and nerds and friends. Well, thank you. Joe with another gifting another red team membership. Thank you. Alex,
Okay,
with
they're
$10,
just
a different Alex with the
membership
$10 super chat. Saying, love the
as
stream.
far as that.
I got up at 4:45 Mountain to
and
watch
I'm
Starship
still
yesterday, and
searching
the adrenaline is still somewhat flowing.
as we're
Godspeed,
continuing
Europa.
to monitor.
Yeah, it was an early day for us
Here,
in
11
that 10
minutes
for sure.
into its launch now,
Um,
and it looks
Joe
like
with
I'm not
another
seeing
super chat
anything or any
saying, is Falcon
commentary
Heavy
concerning
fairing
the
made of
return of
composites
the
material, and is
two
it also
boosters.
reusable?
But I'm
Sawyer,
checking to see
what is Falcon Heavy's fairing
what
made
else
of? And
we have
yes,
here.
it is reusable, right?
We checked the NASA page.
I think that's an Alex question.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. It is a honeycomb aluminum structure
NASA
with
Europa
composites.
but they
So
have
essentially, you have carbon fiber and aluminum. Normally, other rockets
still have Europa's launch at
do it differently, and that's why they seem to be a little more floppy. If you saw the recent replays, sort of from ULA of the Vulcan launch, you can see the fairing separation. It's a lot more floppy. That's because it's like different and thinner as well, different materials. But Falcon 9 uses that composite aluminum honeycomb structure for the fairings, and yeah, it is reusable. They have reused, I think, over 250 fairing halves already. Like, they have reused a bunch of them, and these for this mission are, of course, being at least recovered. We don't know if they may be reflown in the future. We hope so, right? And they are being recovered by Go Cosmos. It's their one of their temporary fairing recovery vessels, because one of the other ships for fairing recovery, Bob, is currently undergoing maintenance, essentially. But yeah. Unfortunately, I saw someone else asking for coverage of the fairing re-entry and landing. Unfortunately, we don't have any footage of that, and it's also very far away to send anybody to that place. So yeah,
this is live.
It also takes a long time to get to the ground because it uses parachutes. It surfs through the atmosphere using thrusters, but then it pops out a parachute, and then it takes like 20-30 minutes because it goes very slow. That's the whole point of the parachute, to slow down the descent, and it descends very, very slowly. It takes 20-30 minutes to get to the ocean.
Yeah. Let's see. Niles GK with a super chat. Thank you very much. Kiki, not Kiko, but Kiki, is saying good luck from Germany. Kiki and Sasha. Well, thank you very much. Hopefully, you enjoyed launch.
So let's go ahead and bring this up.
Wilbo with 100-pound super chat. Literally, I think this is his 10th or 11th piece of support today, saying almost 500 pounds. Wilbo, just thank you. That's you've been incredible today. Thank you. A super chat. You guys have the best voices ever. Thank you. Wilbo Baggins now with gifting a red team membership. Wilbo, thank you. You're just always here today. Rocks0909 gifting 5 red team memberships. And then Rocket Fella saying, hi, Bob. Hello, Bob. I know that's not the joke from the series. I do actually get that reference. And then Jerwa, another very regular name we see around here. The empty pad used to be DOS's favorite view, but now I wonder if the briefly empty pad is better.
Pad with a booster pack is cool, right?
That's a brilliant point.
Can we need to get official confirmation from DOS as to if his new favorite view is the pad with a booster cot.
One view that we're definitely not getting tired of is that, like the one from Sawyer, as you can see there, of a launch. We really like launches, right?
I do particularly like that view, yes. There's just a couple shots for you. I'll have a whole bunch for Membies coming up, but just a little teaser for everyone as we get the video replays pulled of just some of the awesome shots. Again, super crisp, super clear today. It was absolutely stunning.
Wow. Very good shot, Sawyer. Thank you. And there we have.
What do you mean? My pleasure. That's what I'm here for. I live for this stuff. So to be able to share it with everyone, I mean,
Okay,
come on, this is the best.
Give you some more commentary on Europa.
And there we have
the Falcon Heavy mission that's taking place right now.
And the smoke that.
It's a unique circumstance that will require
go ahead.
SpaceX to expand all
39A will now be
rocket
getting
boosters. And most
prepared
Falcon
for its
Heavy
next
flight
mission.
missions, two side boosters
SpaceX
are flown
Falcon
back
Heavy is kind of a
to Cape
pain
Canaveral.
for
Okay, here's the
SpaceX
answer.
in the sense that
Space Force
it takes a
Station,
long time
after
to convert
separating
to and from
which is not
Falcon
after
Heavy.
separating the center booster,
But
which is not
let's see, its
recovered.
next
Falcon
mission
Heavy is giving Europa
CRS-31.
It's all sending
CRS-31.
this spacecraft to the
And just to get ahead of the questions, because I know
furthest
people will ask about that smoke.
destinations we've
That
ever
is no more
sent,
smoke.
which means
They are
the
burning
mission
off
requires the
excess
maximum
TTEB.
performance,
TTEB is the fluid that is used to
during the
jumpstart the
pre-launch
engines, essentially
media
add
telecast
engine
there.
ignition. Falcon Heavy uses 27 Merlin engines,
Director of
so
NASA
they need a
Space
lot of
Science
TTEB and some
tweeted,
of
"I
the
don't know
remains on
about
the
you
lines
guys, but I
that go
can't
to
think
the
of
launch
mission
mountain, so they need to burn off
sacrifice boosters
the excess
where we
TTEB that remains on the
have
lines. So that's what you see
might
there.
have an
That's the
opportunity to
smoke. It's
preserve
actually
life." So
gonna
these boosters are
take place for a
expendable.
long
So that
time
answers
because
that
it's a
question.
slow burn
I
that
was
they do
wondering
there,
about that. I
but
didn't
it's
see him
completely
fly back.
nominal.
So that
Yep.
is an
Always
answer.
good to point out.
All three, the booster, the two side boosters, and the
But while
middle
we
center booster
we have shots
were
from
expendable, so they weren't flying.
Julia.
Two side
It's
boosters.
not
It's not
just
like they
Sawyer
had
out in the
missions
field
before
today,
that.
so awesome launch shot.
The mission
Thank you,
is the
Julia.
sixth and final flight for side booster.
Let's see.
1064
Alex, while we wait for
and
some replays, which I
1065,
think are
which
almost
makes
ready,
their
I think
sixth
it's
and
worth
final
talking a
launch.
little
So
bit
each of them
about
had six.
SpaceX's
The
launch
both previous
cadence
supported
and
the
what other
launches
missions
of
are coming up, because
USSF
they're not done for today, are they?
No, they are not.
67
They have
Jupiter
two Starlink missions later
-3,
this
Echo
evening,
Star
or rather
-24,
tomorrow,
that is,
very, very early morning.
other
One here from the Cape, Starlink Group
Following the
10-10,
impacts
and
of
then another one
Hurricane
from
Milton, the
Vandenberg,
mission
Starlink
was originally
9,
scheduled
Group
for October 13th.
9-7.
NASA and
So
SpaceX
two more
decided
launches
to wait
coming up,
24
and
hours.
then
During the teleconference,
2.5 days
it was said
after
that
the Starlink
due
Group
to an
10-10
issue that
mission,
came up
they're going to
during
be launching
pre-launch
another mission. I believe it is
SpaceX
819.
called for
That'll carry Starlink direct-to-cell
paranormal
satellites, by the way.
horror.
And then after
They
that, another
struck
2 days
as far as
after
to
that,
wait
they have
24
another
hours.
launch, which is a Starlink
During that
661.
process,
Also from the
they
Cape, from
encountered a
Slick
quality
40.
control
They're
issue
trying to
relating
get
the
those
vehicle's
turnaround times as
tubbing,
short
whatever
as
that is.
possible, but
There's-
definitely quite a
and
comeback
there's tubbing
for SpaceX after
on
those
all over the
anomalies in the
different
third
parts.
quarter.
So
And
two
bunch of other customer
one
missions as well on
the
tap
things
for
we had to
the rest
do
of
was
the year. I
work
believe
really
up to
closely with
15
our
customer
NASA launch
missions.
service
You can read a lot more
program
about
team,
this on my latest article on NSF's news site.
looking at what hardware on the vehicle
Yeah.
was set.
That article, by the way, is great.
suspected,
Alex does
was needed to
one of these
evaluate
basically every
as part of
quarter.
the issue
Well,
and
every
making
quarter,
sure
actually,
that
not
it had
basically,
its necessary
where he just covers
That's
the
basically making sure that
records that
every
SpaceX
system
had,
went through an
how many
acceptance
launches they
test
had, just goes
or
over
validation
everything,
test of
and
additional type of
talks about what
inspection
we're
to
expecting in
ensure
the next
that
quarter.
the
And
vehicle and hardware
they're always
that
very insightful because SpaceX just does not stop.
that's
So
on the pad
would recommend
right now is ready
going
to
and
fly.
reading that.
I remember
Tim,
we used to do them like every year, but SpaceX
Senior
started
Launch
launching
Director
so
of NASA
much that it was
Launch
like,
Services
let's do it every quarter.
OSP,
Maybe in the
added
future it'll be
SpaceX
like
brought
every
up the
month or
issue
something,
late
and we will
last
need
week,
like
and NASA agreed
10 different writers by the
that
time
issue
they're
needed
launching a
further
bunch of
work.
times every single day.
So she's off and going, and that's pretty exciting stuff right there.
And I do actually, I've seen a couple people asking
I'm not
in
sure
chat,
about the
they're
other
like,
feeds though.
2.5 days between
just
launches.
grateful
That
that the guys
seems
from
hard. Can
NSF,
Slick 40
I'm still searching
handle
the
that?
so
And the
we'll go back to
answer
listening to
is
these guys
probably.
at NSF.
Slick 40's quickest turnaround to date is 2 days, 19 hours, and 40 minutes, which I believe, I don't remember which two launches that was between. It doesn't matter. Yes, I
You're
think they
talking about
probably
the turnaround time for Slick 40?
Yeah, like
Between SES 24 and Starlink Group 10-2.
There you go. Thank you. So yes, SpaceX could support missions in that quick of succession. However, it's certainly not a given. Anyway, going on to some more support, as you guys have just been incredibly generous today. So really, thank you. Plutonium 239 with the $10 super chat saying, do you think there could be alien life forms such as fish or bacteria on Europa? That's what this mission is hoping to, is hoping to answer. Are there the building blocks for this? So far, we think it's possible, but we want to know if all of the building blocks are there. So we'll see.
I'd say it's more likely that if we find any sort of life form, it'll be closer to a bacteria than, I don't know, like a big giant octopus or something like that.
Yeah. Llama with a $50 super chat saying it would be so cool to have the cameras rolling when the side boosters slammed into the ocean. Thanks for the amazing coverage yesterday. Yeah, that would be pretty cool, but I sadly don't think SpaceX will ever give us that. Then Llama again gifting 5 Red Team memberships. So thank you very much for your support, Llama. And if you got one of those, make sure you thank Llama in chat. And then Nyroxis became a Red Team member. Welcome to our Red Team. Let's see. Going to some more of your guys' questions. Here's an interesting one from Richie, who's wondering, is trajectory manually operated until the point of spacecraft separation? Alex, that is all completely autonomous.
Yeah, this is all autonomous, even up to the countdown when they say launch auto sequence has started at T-minus 50 minutes on Falcon Heavy. All of those procedures during the countdown are automated, all of them. Obviously, they can still manually, abort until T-minus 10 seconds, but, it is all automated. There's no manual intervention there.
Yeah, which we can now witness again with some replays. I believe we have a bunch of replays ready.
So these are replays of the launch there on the left of the mission that just that we're observing.
Yeah,
right
there
now.
it goes.
Never get sick of Falcon Heavy. It's such a cool rocket. Is this tracking cam? No. Its exhaust is just so cool. It is tracking.
Okay, we're going to go and head over to the
audio. Just sounds so good.
NASA's page here and see what they have. And we'll continue monitoring
our models here, but like to see the science in front of us immediately. That was really cool. Thank you for that.
Awesome.
So again, these are just some of the 9 instruments that Europa Clipper has on board. We're going to show you the other 5 after we head back out to Tony, actually. So Tony, the Europa Clipper mission was developed with Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory.
That's right, Megan. And joining us virtually is Bobby Brown, the head of Johns Hopkins APL Space Exploration Sector Head. Bobby, can you tell us a little bit about where you are and how you and the teams are feeling at this moment?
Yeah, well, good morning. I'm standing here in the Mission Support Area East, which is one of 2 mission support facilities One's at JPL, that's the primary one, and then we have a facility here in Laurel, Maryland as well. And I'm standing here with members of the operations team who've been plugged in all day and are part of this mission.
That's amazing. Congratulations to you and the team. And in your mind, what makes Europa Clipper so unique?
Europa Clipper is among the most special missions that we do in planetary science. The science itself is amazing. It's something that's been in work for 15 years. The spacecraft is huge. It's going to a destination that you could really just dream of. Think about the moon, but the moon, our Earth's moon, but with twice the volume of water that we have on the Earth. And our spacecraft's going there to explore. It's a very large spacecraft, very heavy spacecraft, and of course soon our magnificent solar arrays are going to deploy. These solar arrays are 100 feet across. So this is the largest, most significant planetary science mission of all time.
That's right. And can you tell us a little bit more about APL's contributions to this mission?
Yeah, well, a mission this unique actually took the best of the folks at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory and at the Applied Physics Laboratory working and learning together. This mission took the best of all of us to get this done. Here at APL, we've been responsible for the propulsion module and the communications electronics and antenna that are part of that module. The propulsion module is about 10 feet tall. It's about 2/3 of the height of the overall spacecraft. And we've also built, I'd say 2.5, 2 and parts of a third of the science instruments. So the cameras that we were just talking about, those 8 megapixel, both wide angle and near angle cameras that were, when they were designed, had the same resolution as, say, an iPhone 10. Those were designed right here at APL. They're going to be able to zoom in on Europa to a factor of 5 greater than what we've seen on past missions like Galileo. We also built the PIMS instrument, which is one of 2 instruments that's looking at the magnetic field and the plasma surrounding Europa. It's going to tell us a great deal. Together, they will tell us a great deal about the ocean beneath the icy surface. And then with JPL, we worked on the MISE instrument, which is that spectrometer that you were just talking about in the previous segment.
That is very exciting indeed. I know we're all very much looking forward to the data that we get back from those instruments. Bobby, thank you so much for joining us. Back over to you, Megan.
Really cool to hear from APL, and thank you, APL, for your contributions to this mission. As promised, we now have models of the remaining 5 instruments on Europa Clipper. So, Jenny, what do we have now?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to start over here again.
Okay.
So now these 2 instruments, that furthest one is MassSpecs.
Okay.
And then the next one is SUDA. And then both of these together are our dust detector and a mass spectrometer. So these instruments are going to be kind of directly tasting particles that are in the environment around the spacecraft.
Tasting?
Yeah, so kind of as we're flying past, particles will be hitting their sensors and we'll be able to tell what they're made of, how fast they're going, and doing that kind of chemical analysis.
Oh, okay.
The 3 over here that we have photos of, because they're really big, so we can't have models.
Fit them on the desk.
That's right, they wouldn't fit on the desk. The 3 of these together are going to be able to tell us about the interior structure of Europa. So we'll start on the end with Reason. Reason is our ice penetrating radar.
Okay.
That's going to help us understand how thick the ice is, places where it may be thinner. And then PIMS and our magnetometer are studying the plasma fields and the magnetic fields. So let's talk a little bit about the magnetic fields, because this is a really interesting part of Europa. So let's do a little demo.
Okay.
So I want you to hold this.
All right.
We're going to pretend this is Jupiter.
Right.
And you can see there's kind of a magnet inside with some of these iron filings. So go ahead and give that a quick shake. Oh yeah, shake it up real good, real good. There you go. Awesome.
Okay.
So now it might be hard to see, but you can see that iron is flowing around like the magnetic fields of Jupiter. So if you were to just take a rock and move around, you wouldn't really see much, but try it with that.
A magnet.
Yeah, so that one's magnetic.
Whoa, it's attracting all the little metal shavings.
Exactly. So that's basically, we're kind of pretending that this is Europa in this situation. So the way we discovered that there was an ocean underneath the ice is because there was a little bit of a wobble in the magnetic fields. And we were able to infer from that there must be some sort of conductive layer underneath the ice.
I
and
see.
so if Europa didn't have that conductive layer of ocean, we wouldn't see this kind of interaction with the magnetic fields.
Gotcha.
So our magnetometer instrument that we we have on the payload is super, super important.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jenny.
Yeah.
All right. So we've been following along with the Falcon Heavy second stage as it continues its journey out with Europa Clipper. So let's head back to NASA's Daryl Nail and Mick Waltman for the next operational milestone.
Yeah, that's right. We're getting ready to relight the second stage engine on the second stage of the rocket, carrying Europa Clipper, and it is just moments away, Mick. We're at T plus 47 minutes and 30 seconds, getting ready to relight. This is a longer burn than the first burn.
Yeah, this is the burn that will get us into that ITO, or interplanetary transfer orbit, allowing Europa Clipper to be separated and get ready for its Earth assist maneuver. And there we just heard the call for MVAC ignition. The engine was chilled down prior to this, and ignition has happened, and the second burn is continuing on.
So this is a 3-minute and 21-second burn of the second stage. If you're familiar with the amazing views that we have at this point, then you know that we've got the camera on the second stage. However, we are not expecting to see that view for this particular burn, and there's an important reason for that, and that is because we've been on ground stations leading up into this point, but for the duration of this second burn, we are pulling data through the TDRS network. The TDRS network, a legacy satellite system in geo orbit that is going to help us out fill in the gap so we can at least pull down the important telemetry of what is going on.
Yeah, we're seeing the telemetry coming through, and things are looking good on the telemetry. And but as you stated, we can't process that video through there from that aspect, and things continue to go for this burn.
Yes, the TDRS system covering 90% of this burn too. TDRS, of course, standing for Tracking Data and Relay Satellite Network. 90% of the burn will be covered by TDRS, but it's a much lower data rate than it is from the ground station. It's roughly on the order of 20 kilobits per second. If you compare that to your home internet connection, it's the pipe is about 5,000 times smaller.
Yeah, we have to choose what data we send. So we want to send the vehicle telemetry so we can see what's happening from a stage 2 velocity and altitude, and bandwidth for video takes up a lot more. So
MVAC engine cut off.
There you have the cutoff. The second burn is complete. And we just caught some video of right there at the end of the second burn, and we've got some results there. Everything looking good.
Yeah, TDRS network did its job. We just switched over to ground station, and we were able to pick up that
Nominal
video.
orbit insertion.
And nominal orbital insertion has just been reported, and stage 2 looks good. So our next event, Daryl, will be spacecraft separation. Very excited for that, and I know everybody's looking forward to that with the successful launch today.
We are looking forward to seeing Europa Clipper go off into space off that second stage. But in the meantime, we'll send it back to Megan and Jenny.
All right, it's been now about 51 minutes, nearly 52 minutes until since launch. Our coverage is going to take you through separation and getting the first possible signal from the Europa Clipper spacecraft. Let's head back over to JPL, where NASA's Raquel is somewhere new to tell us about the Deep Space Network.
Yeah, Megan, this is a wider look at the Space Flight Operations Facility at JPL, where NASA operates the Deep Space Network. This powerful system is able to communicate with spacecraft traveling beyond the moon. And joining us today is Amy Smith, the Deputy Project Manager for the Deep Space Network. Thank you so much for joining us, Amy.
Thank you for having me.
So your team is waiting to hear from Europa Clipper. Can you tell us why the Deep Space Network is so important with establishing communication with spacecraft?
Yes, so the Deep Space Network is part of NASA's Space Communication and Navigation Program, and it is the critical link between scientists and mission controllers on the ground and more than 40 missions that are exploring our solar system and beyond today. So the Deep Space Network is made up of 14 very large antennas strategically located around the world. We have a complex here in Southern California, one outside of Madrid, Spain, and another one in Canberra, Australia. And those are about equidistant around the world, as you can see in this graphic, so that wherever your spacecraft is, when it needs to communicate to Earth, it can see one of our Deep Space Network antennas. So with the Deep Space Network, we can send commands to our spacecraft. We can collect all that amazing science data, and we can even collect navigation data so that the teams know where their spacecraft is.
Yeah, and what is Europa Clipper doing right now, and which location do you expect to establish communication with first?
Yeah, so the radio on the spacecraft will turn on about its separation and start warming up and sending a downlink signal back to Earth. And we have antennas at our Canberra complex, which are set up right now and waiting for that signal.
And then after that, what is your team doing to prepare for signal acquisition before and after?
Yeah, so the Deep Space Network is here to support our missions. And so we work really closely with the missions to understand what they're going to need, especially in a critical event like today. The mission provides all of those parameters to the Deep Space Network so that we can set up our antennas to be looking at the right place in the sky, to have all of those downlink set up just perfectly so that when the signal comes in, we'll be able to see it. So the first thing we're going to see with our antennas is the carrier frequency. We'll see that pop up and we'll lock onto that. And then we can start to decode the data that's on there. And once we are able to decode data, we'll start sending that directly to the mission operations team so that they can use the data to see what's going on the spacecraft and make decisions about what to do next. Eventually, they'll ask the Deep Space Network to turn on the uplink. So we will establish coherent two-way communication, which means we'll still be collecting data, but then we can send commands to the spacecraft, and we'll start collecting that critical navigation data that the team needs.
Okay, thank you so much for your time, Amy. Megan, back to you.
Thank you, Raquel and Amy. And once Europa Clipper is launched, you can follow along with its journey using NASA's Eyes on the Solar System, which you can check out by scanning this QR code. It's a 3D program that allows you to zip around our solar system to learn about planets, asteroids, comets, moons like Europa, and spacecraft like Europa Clipper. And remember, Europa Clipper is not a life detection mission. Again, instead, it is looking for the right conditions that could support life. Now, a check on the clock. We are now 55 minutes from launch. We have time for some more social questions. This one actually is not a question. It's a well wish. This is from Tiffany Basket on Facebook. I think she knows you because she's saying, "Hi, Jenny." From all of us in Ohio at the Buckeye Online School for Success, we want to thank you for keeping us updated and inspiring our students to dream big. Good luck today.
That's just so heartwarming and amazing to hear from them. And I know they're all watching. So, yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, that's wonderful to get to hear
great.
that. Hi, Tiffany. Thank you for that.
Yes, thank you.
And we have one quick one from Instagram. If life is found on Europa, what will be the next steps? What does this mean for future missions? And I'll add on to that. What would life look like possibly?
Yeah. So, again, we're not a life detection mission. We are not really looking for like a biosignature of something that says like, wow, we found life, right? But we are going to assess its habitability. And if we find that this is a place that is habitable, the hopeful next step is that we would send a landed mission, that we could go in the future and actually land on the surface, take samples and all those things.
All right, let's go back to Daryl and Mick right now.
Very much, and we continue to watch the progress of Europa Clipper on that second stage of the Falcon Heavy rocket, and we're looking good so far. The telemetry we're seeing looks like the coast again is going well. We expect the spacecraft and the second stage to start to go into a little bit of a roll, and that's intentional, Mick.
Yeah, for thermal protection, to make sure that Europa Clipper stays cool and gets going, and we get that thermal roll that's going on. But everything's looking good, and the initial data we got from stage 2 performance looked really good and nominal for that second burn. So we're definitely looking forward to Europa Clipper separation here shortly, as we can see this camera view of Europa Clipper on the front of the SpaceX Stage 2 launch vehicle.
Yeah, that's a great shot of the spacecraft going out the forward end. Europa Clipper, the largest spacecraft that NASA has ever built and sent into space on a planetary mission.
There we see the camera view of the MVAC-D that did its job in shutdown, and the picture of Europa Clipper on the front of the Stage 2. Things continue to look good as we see the altitude of Stage 2 continuing to increase during this coast, and the velocity is ramping down into a steady state. Things continue to look very good, getting ready for separation in roughly 5 minutes.
Now we are having that video signal appear and then disappear. We do know that with the spacecraft doing that thermal roll, that can cause signal fluctuations, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're on ground station tracking, and as it slightly moves around, we lose the connection a little bit, but we're getting great data so far as the vehicle continues to perform well.
We really want to be locked in at T plus 1 hour and 2 minutes and 32 seconds. That's the current time that we have for the separation of the Europa Clipper spacecraft. And that is a big moment, and we want to be able to see that because, as we've seen in some past NASA missions, it really looks impressive to see that spacecraft going off into its destination.
Yeah, and this being the largest planetary spacecraft that we've built, it's just going to be very cool to see this separation and go. And we heard Jenny and some of the team talk about it, but it just blows me away, the 30-meter fairing of the solar rays. Wish we could see that and all, but this mission is just so excited, got so many people behind it, and we are just looking forward. After this successful launch today, we want to get to this major milestone of separation, and things continue to look good for that from that aspect. We've had a lot of people, Daryl, over the years work on this. I'm going to give a special shout out to one of my own, my flight analysis division chief, Mr. Mike Carney. He has been working on a Europa mission for at least 25 years in his career. He started out as a trajectory analyst for a Europa mission way back when at Lewis. And when he came to LSP, he's worked on Europa off and on over the years. So shout out to you, Mike, for the great job, and the rest of the team on Europa Clipper today.
We just passed the 1 hour mark of flight for Europa Clipper and Falcon Heavy. Second stage. As you can see from this trajectory, Mick, it's going away from Earth.
Yeah, this is that interplanetary transfer orbit that we talked about. That first burn got us into that park orbit around Earth. And this second stage, second burn on second stage did a great job of getting us on that way as we get ready to separate Europa Clipper to get ready for those flybys, to get those gravity assists to get out there to the Europa moon. Things look continuing to look very well on the stage performance as it coasts through, getting ready for separation. Trajectory looks nominal.
And Europa Clipper is going to be deployed in a very high radiation environment. If you watched our broadcast today, you learned a lot about the high radiation, extremely high radiation environment in its destination, but it's also in a high radiation area right now as this deployment is in the Van Allen radiation belts.
Yeah, we talked one of the things that we had to monitor today during today's launch was solar proton flux. Team had to keep an eye on that for solar flares and things going on to make sure we heard earlier about the special radiation area where the electronics are and for the spacecraft. And so solar proton flux went very well today, and we got this launch off. Things looking really good. We're about a minute away from payload separation, expected payload separation. Things continue to look good as the stage 2 altitude continues to increase. Velocity has a steady state now for stage 2, and things looking really good for this portion of the mission.
Getting close now. Less than 30 seconds away from separation. There you see the Europa spacecraft. Those massive solar panels that you were talking about all stacked together. This is a big moment for the program, for NASA, APL, and JPL. Let's watch.
Europa Clipper, separation confirmed.
And there you go. NASA's Europa Clipper probe, embarking on a long-awaited mission to study Jupiter's icy moon, Europa. And what a sight, Mick.
That is absolutely gorgeous, Gerald, to see Europa Clipper on its way. Successful deployment from stage 2. Falcon Heavy performed very well today. Teams behind us are clapping and enjoying.
It looks like it's going so slow, but it's
via the video we can see that Clipper has successfully separated. Please say goodbye to Clipper on its way to Europa.
Now, that voice you heard just there is the Europa Clipper flight director, Pranay Mishra. He's with the mission support team.
Okay, all stations, we are waiting for a sign of initial acquisition. Again, Telecom will confirm when we have carrier lock, and DDM will let us know when they see the first packet down.
You can see the second stage and the spacecraft just hit orbital sunrise, fully illuminated by the sun coming over the Earth. And as you just heard the flight director say, they are now going to be monitoring for an acquisition of signal.
Yes, this will be the first time the spacecraft gets information. Looking forward for that.
The hope is that they would get it in the next few seconds. We're now looking at a split screen. On your left, you see Europa Clipper. On your right, this is telemetry coming. Or actually, this is the ground station looking for a spike, looking for a handshake with the spacecraft. And we expect to see that in the form of a blip.
Daryl, as you say, they expect that here in a few seconds, but it can happen in a few seconds or anywhere from 15 minutes from now. So the team is closely monitoring this and looking for that, and we're hoping that we can gain AOS here very shortly.
Yes, there's a broad range of times for which AOS is expected.
Flight GNC. Go. Just wanted to comment from the video that we could see that the sun was on the neg-Y side of the spacecraft. There were very low visible separation rates, and the negative Z-axis was pointed at Earth, so this should be favorable for comp.
Copy, GNC. Thank you.
An acknowledgement from the team that that sunlight could help things out. They're looking to warm up the amplifiers.
Go, Faith.
Sorry, I missed the session IDs for our SA sessions from GDS. Can you or GDS repeat those for me?
We did not call them out on net yet, but there are 5 session IDs that it will cycle through, so just a note. GDS, could you note those session IDs in your cache report, and then folks can go there and take a look?
So they got 2 radios there that they are warming up. And once they get warm enough, they'll be able to send a signal transmitting down to the deep space network. And that's where JPL, the team that you see there in California, is awaiting to receive that signal, basically a handshake saying, hey, I'm here, I'm good. The bigger telemetry and the more the data about how it's doing will come down later.
So,
did we get confirmation that the alarm file was deployed?
That's affirmative.
Do we have the time at which that deployment was complete?
GDS, do you have a specific time for when that alarm file deployment was complete?
17:05:06.
System, do you copy that time?
Copy, thank you.
Again, that's Europa Clipper Flight Director Pranay Mishra leading his team. Also, a partner in this mission is the Applied Physics Laboratory, their team on console as well. While continuing to monitor the search for a signal. And I believe we have it.
Right.
There it is.
Flight, this is... Go, Telecom. Flight, this is Cal. We're seeing the signal on the open loop receiver. Copy, Telecom.
Now there you have it. Confirmation of signal from the spacecraft, Europa Clipper. In the room there at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory erupting in applause. These teams have worked a long time. You've got some high fives.
Got flight, I got data on SSC. Copy, Telecom.
Flight, this is Telecom. Looks like 12 kilosymbols per second as expected.
Copy, Telecom.
Solid data rate.
We're in lock. Flight, this is Telecom. We're in lock.
Copy, Telecom.
Flight systems.
Go systems.
We have telemetry. We received good tempos, and our displays are lighting up.
Copy systems. Initial hack is confirmed.
And now they just locked in full telemetry from the spacecraft. Another big milestone.
Flight prop.
Go, prop.
We are vented and primed.
Thank you, prop.
The propulsion system now is ready.
Flight, this is Nav.
Go, Nav.
We see Doppler data.
Copy, Nav.
Break. Flight systems.
Go.
We're reporting status that both branches failed to vent. Can prop please confirm if venting occurred successfully?
I was about to do that. The pressures are good, but we are seeing the venting flag. We're taking a look right now.
Copy, prop. Thank you.
Flight GNC.
Go, GNC.
We do see, the telemetry just came in too. We do see that we are already in the mode GNC 3RS tracks on point, and with the Z-axis raise consistent with the Z-axis roll.
Copy. Thank you, GNC.
Flight FP.
Go, FP.
So the particular condition about both branch failing venting does not trigger a monitor, and we have no indication that anything tripped, so it just moved on to priming.
Copy.
Can hear you, Sammy. Copy.
Is that if both branches fail venting, the behavior moves on to and attempts priming. So if that is successful, we could get into tracks on point like we're seeing here. Depending on the cause of the both branches failing venting, which we'll look for prop to confirm more details on.
Copy, activity. Activity, as you see signs of the launch behavior continuing, please call it out.
Yes, if we're flight this activity.
Go ahead.
Being in our tracks on point at this point, we are waiting the hour thermal roll. So we should all be looking for signs of being in the thermal roll right now.
Copy, activity.
Yeah, Flight GNC, just to confirm it again, we are in the thermal roll right now. And so GNC sees that we have already successfully found the sun, done a slew to sun point, and initiated the Z-axis roll. So good indication that GNC is using the engine successfully.
Copy, GNC. Do you have an estimate on the start time of that thermal roll?
We're working that right now. I'll get that back to you.
Thank you. And activity, when you have the telemetry in step 2-8 or can confirm the telemetry in step 2-8, please let me know.
Flight CP.
Go ahead, B.
Is power seeing anything in the thermal roll? Do we see any change?
Go ahead, power.
Stand by.
So what you're hearing is that the propulsion system was primed. It didn't get a vent on it, but they have later come to get confirmation that indeed the spacecraft is in a roll, so the propulsion system appears to be working.
Yeah, absolutely. They have all good telemetry and everything going well. The spacecraft team's very happy, and they got into their thermal roll and doing very well. So awesome to see deployment. Awesome to see Europa Clipper on its way for this successful mission. Great job by all the teams on today's launch.
Big congratulations to the teams that have all been working so many years to get to this point. There's still a lot of work to do. Several hours from now, they will begin to cut the thermal knives that will slice open the holding mechanism that allows that solar array to expand, and then that'll bring them power to the spacecraft that'll get them on their way.
Yeah, 30 meters solar. That's just impressive from that aspect. And Daryl, again, a great launch today, great separation. I say to Jenny on the host desk, awesome. Hope you're happy. Hope the JPL's team happy. We at LSP are so proud to provide you with SpaceX a great launch today. Thanks for being with us. And Daryl, as usual, thanks for having me. An exciting one.
Well, we appreciate having you, Mick. Thank you for your expertise and your knowledge and insight into this mission. It is always helpful to help us understand what's going on. So thank you very much. And that'll wrap it up for us. So we'll send it now back to the host desk and Megan and Jenny.
Yeah, thank you so much, Daryl and Mick. It was really cool to have you guys in there walking us through all of those milestones. And yes, I can confirm for you, Mick, that there were some happy tears
More
here
tears.
next to me. more tears. So to recap, for those just joining us, the Europa Clipper spacecraft has separated from the Falcon Heavy second stage. It's on its own in space, but the team has confirmed a signal from the spacecraft and is now getting all the data that we were expecting from the spacecraft. How are you feeling in this moment? I know we just said happy tears.
Happy tears. I know, seeing the separation and the spacecraft moving away from the second stage is just, that's the last time that, human eyes will see the spacecraft, right? From now on, it's on its own. And so that's incredible. And getting AOS and then the full telemetry right afterwards, it's, we test these things, but it's amazing to see it happen and confirm. There's a little bit of relief in there.
Yeah, we're going to hear from JPL in just a little bit about what full telemetry is, but I mean, explain why that is such a big deal.
Yeah, so it basically allows all of our different subsystem experts to weigh in and say, okay, I'm seeing, my system looks good, I'm checking this, that looks, that's in the range we expect it to be. So it allows us to really understand the full kind of health of the spacecraft.
And so that's why you were cheering.
Yes.
She was in the room. Yes, all of us in the room were cheering. Again, a huge moment for the Europa Clipper team. And I know so many of you guys out there as part of the team, part of Jenny's team, really share in the relief and excitement. So let's get some more reaction from Mission Control at NASA's JPL in California. Raquel, all the cheering that we saw in that room was super cool to see.
Yeah, Megan, and the cheering hasn't stopped. We just heard some moments ago, and the team is still celebrating. And right now we are joined by Tim Larson, Deputy Project Manager for Europa Clipper. Now, Tim, there's been a tremendous amount of work that went into this moment. Tell me how you and your team.
Okay, so Europa's on its way, and monitoring. It seems like it's going well. Let's see. We're going to go back to our folks at NSF Spaceflight and check them out here. We're looking at some stuff right now, but this mission is going to be on continuing. It's going to take them 6 months. 6 months to go ahead and get to Jupiter, or not 6 years. 6 months. No, it's maybe if I had warp speed, but six years before. So we'll be monitoring it. This is just the very first step, launching it. And I like that comment that the commentator there was saying that that's the last time human eyes will be looking upon that. There's cameras on board, so we'll be looking at it a little bit from an aspect. But as far as the departure from the release of the second stage, the booster stage there. And so, hello, Laura. How you doing? Good afternoon, Laura. Just watching the launch of Europa Clipper, and it's on its way. 6-year travel time, where it's going to be heading to Jupiter. We'll be parked in an orbit around Jupiter, and Europa, one of the moons, will be out here. And it can't park in an orbit around Europa, because if it is, there's a radiation factor there. Audio is a bit strange. How about now? I had it down. So let me check my audio here. Oh, okay. I forgot to turn that off. Okay. So how's the audio now? Should be good. Let me check. Let's see what we have here. Test. Okay. So let's see what we have over here on the and it looks like NSF, they've concluded it looks like they may be concluding their broadcast. So we've been on for about an hour and 19 minutes. And let's see. Good now. Okay. I got so many tabs up. It's okay. It looks like NF they've dropped down their live feed. So Let's see. We'll go to their page. And let's see. Are they up somewhere else? No, well, let's see. They still say they're live. Let's check and see. But I hope you have, yeah, good now. Okay, the audio is good. Thank you, Laura. I appreciate it. Just seeing where the folks here at it's NSF, NASA Space Flight. They're we were watching them. We were also watching the NASA feed, which is continuing right now. And let's go ahead and stop sharing that. And we'll go back to the NASA page there. And they're still live. We're still live. So just want to acknowledge the fact that, let's see, starting over there, we have, I should still be live over here on X. It's not showing that I'm live, though. Let's see. Let me go profile. Maybe if I go that way. I'm just playing around here. It's not showing that I'm live anymore. Okay, let's go back to profile. Yeah, we got 4 people on X there, so thank you very much for the folks there on X. We have three people on Rumble. Thank you, those Rumble folks. Appreciate that. 1 person on Locals. We have on the YouTube. What do we have on the YouTube? Let's see, on the YouTube channel, I have that on. I don't know where I have all my pages here and stuff. So, let's see. It's coming up right now. We have one person there on YouTube and on Kick. We have anybody over on Kick? And we have 1 viewer on Kick. And Twitch, we have, where's that coming from? Oh, that's that. Okay, let's see. Let me silence that. Go ahead, silence that. That's earbuds. And again, on Twitch, we have 6 people on Twitch. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it. 6 people over there on Twitch. And as far as viewing. And oh, that's interesting. Let's see what that's all about. Let's see. We can go this way. And just keep that up, I guess. So we've been monitoring the space flight. Like I said, I don't think. Let's see. Is there anything on? They say they're live, but I can't see where they're live at. Let's see. Just getting a bunch of commercials here. The smoke from the tower. I did get a little confused at the beginning because, you know, when you have various streams up to monitor the launch, it's a little, one's a little bit delayed than the other, and you have to refresh the stream as far as that goes. And thank you, Emilio Bono, for following on the Twitch. Just saw that. Greatly appreciate. Let's see if I can see that in here. Yep, you followed. Thank you very much. Emilio Bono. Thank you very much for that follow. I'm just seeing that. Trying to keep up with the comments. We didn't really have that many people in here, but it's compared to yesterday. Yesterday for Starship 5 Heavy, that was pretty impressive as far as that goes. And say thank you for the folks there that let's see, are they back up? Okay, here's the launch pad. Let's go back to that. And just we've been on, how long we've been on for? An hour and 24. We'll finish out with just seeing what the folks here at NSS. This is the page where we started out. I recommend these guys. It's NASA Space Flight, the NSF, the coverage here, and they usually have they covered the yesterday's flight of Starship 5. So they're a good bunch of guys. And let me go ahead and bring this one up, and we'll end out with seeing what they have to say as a final take here. Okay, bring that up, share. We're going to go max. And let's see, there we go. And we'll bring up the volume here as far as I'm getting used to the volume control. Big Juice, Steve, Rich, another space. Yeah, they launched the, surprising enough, I didn't think it was going to do it. They were going to have this launch this early, right after Hurricane Milton. But there was a window between October 10th and November 6th. And this was supposed to go off Saturday, but because of the hurricane, they delayed it, and they got it off today. So we've been sitting here for the last hour and a half monitoring it. And let's see what these guys have. Big Juice coming in from Ohio. Okay, there's no commentary, but this is the launch pad where this SpaceX Heavy, it was 3 Falcon 9 strapped together that launched the Europa. There was a third stage. Well, actually, you got what? 3 stages. 3 stages. And Europa just released and is heading off to Jupiter, which will take 6 years. So we'll follow up. This is just a live feed of, but Falcon Heavy launched Europa at 12:06. Well, that's when it was scheduled, 12:06. But this is the live feed that we have currently at 1:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yep, 1:32 coming up. And it was a good launch. Oh, it's another one. Yeah, this is completely separate from yesterday. This is a NASA mission with the Europa Clipper. It's the Europa Clipper is it's a let's see, I get the skinny on here. That's It was a 3-core vehicle, 3 Falcon 9s, the Europa vehicle, which will embark on a 1-year-long expedition to Jupiter's ocean moon. So it's going to, once it arrives there, it'll be on a 1-year mission. NASA believes the moon characterizes its icy interior and ocean beneath. It may contain evidence now, not evidence suggesting that the building blocks of life might exist on another celestial body. So it has instrumentation on it. It's going to be parked in an orbit around Jupiter. And then as it comes around the other side where Europa is, it'll be able to paint its instruments onto the moon. Europa moon, I believe, is about the same size of our moon. So so it was launched. It was successful. No problems, no issues. And call up Elon, Rich, and tell him we need 2 tickets to Mars. 2 tickets to Mars. There we go. I don't know if I'd take that trip, really. I'd take a trip up in space and come back to Earth, but I don't know if I'd want it, because that's, you got to figure it takes, I don't know how long it takes. How long does it take to travel to Mars? Let me see. Let's look that up. How long does it take to travel to Mars? How long does it take for a human to travel to Mars? Mars is on an average 140 million miles from Earth, rather than a 3-day lunar trip. That only takes 3 days to get to the moon. Astronauts bound for Mars would leave our planet for roughly 3 years, given this distance, planning and self-sufficient. So it takes 3 years. Why can we only go to the moon every 2? And you can only go every 2 years, because Mars and Earth's orbit, the different. Mars and Earth's orbit the sun at different speeds and distances. Sometimes they're really far apart, and other times they come close together. About every 2 years, the two planets are in perfect position. So they're using the gravitation. This isn't like Star Trek where you can just zip from this point to this point. That technology, I don't know. I think that's more science fiction now. But is Mars a one-way trip? One-way trip to the red planet would take 9 months just to get there, Steve. So 9 months. You want to make the round trip, all in all, it would take about 21 months. So you're talking about 2 years. You get there, play around. It'll take another 9 months just to get the alignment again. As you will need to wait 3 months on Mars to make sure Earth and Mars are in a suitable location. So you're talking at the bare minimum of 23 months. I don't know if I could do that. I really don't. But if Elon ever takes my call, Steve, I'll ask him. I say, can you give me and Steve from Ohio, Big Juice, a couple ticket each to go to Mars? It's funny. That's fuzzy. Okay, we're at an hour and 30 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. This has been very interesting. I can't go that long without a snack. Yeah, I don't think there's snack. There might be a few snacks, but I don't think it's going to be. I think it might be more enjoyable than flying on an airline for snacks, though. It's okay. I got some clothes I got to go fold. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, folks. And as far as that goes, and I want to say thank you for the views, especially those that came in here on the chat. Laura from Norway, who was here this morning, and also Spig Juice, Steve, and greatly appreciate it. All right, go fold the clothes. Yep, that's what I got to do. That's my next mission. My mission is to fold clothes. I'm going to have to make a folding clothes patch. That's the patch right here for Europa, the current mission. And with that, this is Rich Roberts at Fireman Rich here on Rumble Studios, broadcasting into locals, YouTube Live, Twitch, Facebook Live on the Real Fireman Rich, Kick, and also we're on X Live. So I greatly appreciate those views on those platforms. And you too, Laura, have a great one. And we'll be talking to you all. You can follow me over there on X at Fireman Rich, my mainstay for social media postings. And if the various live streaming platforms, just check or else just Google at Fireman Rich. You'll see where I'm at, but primarily over there on X. All right, folks, you all have a great afternoon on this Monday. Live life, have fun. Ciao for now. As always, peace. Later, Gators. Yes, exactly. Ciao for now. We are out of here.